Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I'm very sure that you've been following this story. And first off, what's your take when you did see the remark made by Senator Natasha, especially at the floor, trying to speak against her change of seat and how she was indeed spoken back to, especially by members of the National Assembly and the Senate President? Do you think it was something that could have been, simply handled it differently?
Okay, firstly, I need to correct you. So, founder of Purple Women Foundation, that is me. Great. Now, also, you said something that was written on the page that you showed before this. The suit is not it's not because she hasn't mentioned what happened in this chamber. So you have to be clear. And the suit is not just Akpabio, it's also his aide, whose name I don't remember right now, because in your list just now, you only wrote Akpabio and Uduaghan. It's actually Akpabio and his aide.
That's so Patrick.
When I saw,
yes.
Pardon?
Patrick.
So when I saw when the video came out, I think it was last Thursday, my immediate response was, good for you. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Because not only Senator Natasha Akpoti, not only has she been bullied in Kogi State up until she became senator, also, according to her, she's been bullied whilst she's been at the House. In addition to that, we have seen Senator Ireti Bakare-Yusuf, my namesake. We've also seen her bullied and shut down. And it was Senator Natasha who stood up for her. So my immediate response was, she's clearly had enough. And we must remember that. We must remember that whilst it's okay, yes, whilst it is also true that there must be order in the House, order begins from the leadership, right? Discipline begins from the leadership. The leadership is supposed to act in accordance to the rules, thereby others following his leadership. Well, we have a leader at the Senate, the third citizen, who clearly has not been acting to order. Just this week, I saw, and I can't remember the name, there was another lawmaker who stood up and actually said to him, you are voted like the rest, you are voted in like the rest of us. You can't keep doing this. Enough is enough. And clearly that's how Senator Akpoti also felt. Enough is enough. I refuse to be bullied by you any longer. Now let's go back to this seat thing, because a lot of Akpabio's support and also some neutral people are saying, well, look, they have the right, they can change the seat, etc. That is true. That is fine. But just because we have the right doesn't mean we don't do things properly. Doesn't mean we don't do things with respect and dignity to the other person. Okay? Senator Natasha Akpoti was voted into that seat, just like everybody else there, just like the Senate president. So really, even if because he did explain, he said, because of the Labour Party who shifted to APC, Labour Party Senate who shifted to APC, that's why they had to rejig all the seats. That's okay, but surely, I'm sure there's something in that rule book, and if there isn't, it should be there, that you can actually send a text message or an email to inform those whose seats are going to be changed, that their seats will be changed at the next plenary, that they are to sit on seat number whatever it is, right? Senator Akpoti clearly was not informed. Yes, he doesn't have to inform her, because we've had the misogynists, yes, I will say that. We've had the misogynists and the Akpabio lobby who have been saying he doesn't have to inform her. Well, there's also responsibility, right?
Okay.
Do they not have the decency to actually write to her and inform her in advance. But secondly is the fact that what she did was to speak up and object to, because it wasn't Akpabio who asked for her to be moved. There was another senator who raised the order about her being moved. And she stood up to speak, and then she was shut down. That is wrong. Now, he should have listened.
No, madam.
Akpabio should have let her finish her words and then continued.
Now, Senator Yemi Adaramodu called Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's reaction, and I quote, as extreme intransigence. Other senators said, you know, we have former governors here. A former governor, a former two-time governor, a former minister was also moved. His seat was moved, and he didn't make a fuss about it. Do you think that's a fair criticism and assessment? And do you think Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is being unfairly targeted?
The first question I will ask is, that former governor, has he been meted the same treatment that Senator Natasha has actually been enduring? Enduring is the word, right? The same treatment she's been enduring and tolerating since she became a senator, since she's been at the chambers. Has he? I doubt it. So everything must be treated in this case within its own sphere. Here's the thing. Senator Natasha Akpoti is a woman, right? She is a woman who has endured the most unreasonable, the most disgusting form of bullying since her time in politics. And then she finally, remember, this woman, the road to her constituency was dug up by Yahaya Bello to ensure she didn't get there. I do not see all these parrots of Akpabio standing up. Adam Olepo, what did you call him? Adaramodu?
Yes.
I do not see him raising a point of order or raising this as an issue at the House, that lawmakers, politicians should not be treated in such a way. No, he didn't. They all kept stum, as they often do, because when it's a woman, it is okay. Now, back to your question. I don't think it is fair to say, oh, she overreacted. When things land on her, I keep saying, and I've said this to many people, a woman, especially most women, and you can ask all the women you know, most women, especially in a professional place, will keep quiet, will keep tolerating, because we don't want to be seen as a troublemaker. We don't want to be seen as making a mountain out of a molehill. We don't want to be seen as a constant complainer, a moaner, okay? We don't. So we will keep tolerating certain behaviors which are egregious to us. We will keep tolerating those until one day there's a last straw. And clearly there has been many straws, but last Thursday was a straw that broke the camel's back. And yes, quite frankly, I'm with her, because we're all human. Akpabio would not tolerate to be treated like that. Heck, he probably wouldn't tolerate for his wife to be treated like that. Heck, he probably wouldn't tolerate for his sister or his daughter to be treated like that. So why is it okay? Why is it that people, and most of these Akpabio parrots, who actually know hardly anything, but position themselves as experts all of a sudden on legislative matters, hiding behind the experts on legislative matters to be misogynistic and to actually advocate for misogyny, they all need to apply it to the woman that is closest to them and to all the women in their family. Yes, she may have overreacted, but none of us have actually had to endure what she's had to go through. It is a fact that often there is more that happens to a woman than a woman can speak. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, by the way, patriarchy is not a gendered word. But like Madeleine Albright said, there's a special place in hell for women who do not support other women. There are lots of women who will be making their way there, in my opinion.
Okay, but many have also said that the Senate President holds a lot of powers, just as it's written under the 1999 Constitution. And one of such powers is that he oversees the discipline of the Senate, and part of which happens to be that he's able to enforce compliance, especially in the House. And many have said that the Senate President was simply trying to ensure that there was compliance when he told her to, take it easy, relax, and they can address something else later on. They could possibly come back and discuss that. And also, like Benga also mentioned, her seat was not the only seat that was moved. So I would like us to get it straight. Her reaction, as we've seen in the suit, is it as a fact of the change of seats, or is it as a fact of what was said on Facebook by the Senate President's aide? Which one of these everybody seems to ask, so that it can be clear where we stand with her approach to actually engage in a suit?
Okay, good question. First and foremost, you said the Senate President was trying. Well, he clearly doesn't try hard enough. Because like I said, she's not the only woman it's happened to. Also, she's not the only opposition party member that it has happened to. We must remember that, right? Okay, our Senate is supposed to be a representation of the votes in the country. So opposition members also need to be afforded the same respect as APC members. It is not called the APC Senate Chambers. It is the Nigerian National Assembly. That's number one. Number two, and the Senate President should actually wake up every morning and recite that to himself. I am making my way to work. I work at the Nigerian National Assembly. I do not work at the APC National Assembly. That's number one. Number two is the Facebook post came after, from what I understand. I'm not even on Facebook. It didn't come before. So let's not get things mixed up, because this is also another thing that Akpabio's parrots, and of course some donkeys, are actually trying to do. They're trying to muddy the waters. She is suing for what was said about her on Facebook, right? After, not before. The issue at the chambers is not mentioned in her suit, from what I have seen. So we must separate both of them. Now, of course, she will likely be suspended. That's okay, right? And whatever comes with the suspension, that's okay, all right? But respect begets respect, right? Okay. And the chamber, the man who is said to be the third, the man who sits on that chair that belongs to the third citizen, will do well to actually go back and train himself with some respect so that he can apply it to his colleagues. Akpabio is not a teacher, okay? Akpabio is not God, right? He is first amongst equals, that's all. That is all.
Like you said,
he mustn't continue to behave like he is God. He isn't. And he cannot continue to speak down, to diminish, to belittle his colleagues, because that is what they are. They are his colleagues.
Yes, madam, like you rightly said, he's first among equals. He was voted in like the remaining 108 senators. Now, back to this Facebook page. Let's get into this Facebook post, I beg your pardon. Let's get into the details. Senator Akpabio's aide, Informed Patrick, posted on Facebook that Akpoti-Uduaghan, senator, thinks being a lawmaker is about pancaking her face and wearing transparent outfits. That's a pretty damn sexist and misogynist remark, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with that. How damaging is this kind of language for women in politics? And if we flip the script for a bit, and if a male senator had reacted in the same way to the change of seats, would this have been such a big deal?
Benga, thank you so very much for reading it out. You know, you ask an important question. If it had been a male, would that have been said? No, it wouldn't have been said. Just listen to what was said. Pancake in her face and wearing see-through clothes. Okay, before I came on TV today, I am a journalist. I go on TV. I used to be at your station, right? It is women wear makeup. I put on some lipstick and I tidied up my hair and I wore the glasses that I wanted to wear. Does that diminish what I'm going to say? Does that make my narratives, my intelligence, my knowledge any less worthy? That's number one. Number two, he alleges rather, that she's wearing see-through clothes. First and foremost, if she were, she wouldn't be allowed into the chambers because there are rules for how you dress into the chambers. If she were going out nightclubbing and she chose to wear see-through clothes, tough, it's her body. If she wants everybody to see it, it's hers to show off. But however, what we do know is Senator Natasha Akpoti is fully covered. She's absolutely fully covered. I didn't even know her religion, right? Till I start, I'm always wondering, wow, she really covers her head. From top to toe, she covers her whole body. Yet, they still had to sink low to claim what is clearly not true. It is sexist, it is misogynistic, it is reductive. You see, you said something, you said many people will condemn that. Actually, not necessarily. There are many who won't. Because again, as I keep repeating in Nigeria, we have a lot, far too many male misogynists, and we have female patriarchal princesses, a lot of whom belonging to where Madeleine Albright said, especially place in hell for women who don't support other women. Now, shouldn't even have come to that. There are many things they could have criticized her on. There are many things he could have written. Heck, he could have even written and told lies about what happened. She wouldn't have been able to sue him. But to write such egregious and disrespectful, oh my word, it was shocking to me. And it wouldn't have happened to a man. Let's remember, I think there are only 3 senators, 2 of whom have actually had issues with the Senate president. Natasha Akpoti was the one who stood up to speak and support Senator Ireti Bakare-Yusuf when she was being bullied, right? So in a chamber and in our politics, where I think there are 8 women in total, I can't remember. There are 8 female deputy governors. There are no female governors. I mean, the whole thing is absurd. And we keep doing every year. We'll hear this whole thing about, oh, we want women in politics. We want women in politics. It's mere lip service.
Okay.
They do not want women in politics, because when they get women in politics, they want to bully them. I once said, one of the reasons you don't have a lot of women going into politics in Nigeria is because these meetings are held in the middle of the night. Political meetings are held late. Most women do not want to be a part of that.
All right.
So no, it was not said if it was a man. It was said to rubbish her, to actually diminish her. It was said to reduce her to just pancake and see-through clothes. And well, I'm proud of her for suing. Now, the suit may not get very far, but it doesn't matter. The symbol of it is very important. Well, sometimes we have to take certain steps in order to send a strong message. I am in solidarity. I stand with Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. I stand with her, as Adesua Giwa-Osage said, with my full chest. I stand with her 100%.
Well, anyway.
And I wish her the very best.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Just like it happened in June 2020, 23, if I recall, better still, where the Senate President had apologized on making a statement to Senator Natasha concerning the nightclub in codes. Let's see if he's also going to make the same statement again, apologizing to her. Thank you so much, broadcast journalist Ireti Bakare-Yusuf, for joining us.
Since that nightclub incident, right, things have gotten worse for her. Look, I want people to go and do their research and hear her. You must always listen to women. I'm not saying we are right all the time. Yes, it's even a good argument. You could say she overreacted. But what led to this point? What led? You cannot continue to push somebody to the wall and not expect them to respond. She responded this time because, like I said, too many straws that have been allowed to go. This was the last one. It was not going to happen again. And if there's one thing that I'm sure of, when she does return, whatever seat they put her into, if they like, they should put her to the back. And when nobody will see her, none of them will try that with her again. Because sometimes one has to send a very strong message to these people.
All right, thank you very much.
We have to go now. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.